Welcome back to my compound. We're going to do a thorough prune job on this twin maple on the rock. This is Kiyohime, which is a very durable maple. I displayed this in the 2022 Expo, and it was just coming into fall color. It was pretty spectacular. Fun to own this tree, and you know, it's just almost a clip and grow at this point. I put a few wires on it along the years, but it's a good piece. Used to have 5 trees on the rock, 2 of which had died when I acquired it, and a third one that was pointing the wrong way. I tried to extract it and was not successful in keeping it alive, but it's a good piece. We'll strip off some of the excess old moss and maybe re-moss it after we get it pruned up. Let's get her in there and get to work. We're going to go through and thin down. This tree has so many branches. I'd like to see a little more air between the pads, so I'm going to try and prune some air into this piece, and Eric's going to assist me. And by the way, like and subscribe. We'll just start working our way in here.
Are you just kind of like removing things that are sort of crossing
branches and basically getting down to a little more basic structure, if you will.
So are you trying to reduce the size of the crown, or you're just trying to kind of open it up?
That's going to be I just want to reduce the amount of branches, and at the same time bring it in a little bit. Like I said, this, as you can see, this tree is so ramified. It's still going to be really ramified even after you could probably take a third of this tree off and still have a very ramified piece.
Why don't you start trimming so I can watch what you're up to, because I'm not 100% sure what you're trying to do.
Well, I'm not 100% sure what I'm trying to do either. I just know that it's got to be reduced somewhat, and like I said, we'll just see where we end up. As I'm working my way in here, I'm grabbing a branch. I see a nice fork here and here. This is pretty coarse through here, so I'll go down to that point and just start doing that consistently across the tree. There's way too much branch here. Even just a little bit I've just done. I can see the difference in the density of this pad. See, just by taking that one branch out, I just created some air there. There's just little back buds to prune too that just make this a really user-friendly tree. And about as light duty as bonsai gets. As I said earlier, very bonsai user-friendly tree because it just grows and nothing really holds it back. Shade, obviously trees growing on a rock need lots of water. I keep this tree in a suimon, where the water wicks up into the rock and root balls. by sitting in water. But as you can see, it's like I said, I've found 2 minute little twigs that died, but you know, usually when you're pruning maples, there's all kinds of little dead twigs, that mainly from getting shaded out. But this species is just the bomb for especially rock plantings, where you need a reasonably tough species to exist on this rock, because repotting is not an option. Very few dead branches, which is a very common occurrence with most maples, that branches that get shaded out underneath usually die back. This tree is the exception to the rule. If we're gonna do a walk through the garden, right now is the time to do it, because the sun is directly behind us.
Okay.
Shi Shi. Micro leaves, orange, fabulous tree. Tough to ramify.
Kind of the opposite of
the tree we're doing.
The Kiyohime.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool though, to see it in just peaking in spring.
Micro, yeah.
Because every time I see Shi Shis, it just looks like a ball of leaves.
A clump of just distract. This little Ukigumo. Not a super exciting tree, but once it's all leafed out, it's very dramatic. This is a coral bark. This tree was 6-7 feet tall. It was a big cylinder of wood from here up. So I cut it off, leaving some of the wood so I could carve it into a little more wiggly structure, and then a wire job. And this tree went from 6 to 7 feet to probably 2 feet max. This was a fun one. It had this scar on the shari on the trunk, and then I extended it and carved some movement in. And this is also, this is Arakawa, rough bark maple. We've thinned it out, tightened up the crown a little, certainly showing off the ramification or the basic structure of the tree infinitely better. And now we're just going to move over to this tree and try and accomplish the same level of awesomeness. All right, this is, I'm a little out of stock moss-wise, so we're doing a little cannibalizing. This was a tree that I showed in early January. So we will peel this off and reinstall okay, I have scraped off all the excess old moss and dirt to receive the new moss, and it needs a little more. What I'll do is I'll take a toothbrush and clean off the rock underneath, and maybe add a little more here and there. I got to get a little more. But as you can see, the piece is infinitely more presentable with the moss on it. But this is one of my favorite pieces, and it is for sale. Once I've had it in the expo once, it can be somebody else's jewel, but this has been a very enjoyable tree to own, especially for the fall colors, just spectacular. From my shop to yours.